Hi there, welcome back to Chinese cooking tips with Aunt Juan Juan. Today we're going to dry cabbage. We dry a lot of vegetables for the winter, and the vegetable that I like drying most, I should say that we like eating most, is cabbage. Cabbage, when it's dry, the flavor completely changes, and it is such a rich, incredibly rich, thick flavor that's completely different than when it's fresh. Drying cabbage is very simple. All you have to do is to slice your cabbage into about a 1 inch wide, maybe a couple of inches long pieces like this, like what I'm doing here. Maybe a little bit more than 2 inches long. And you don't want it to cut it too small, because once it's dried up, it's going to shrivel to nothing, and you want to have a little bit of heft for cooking. So this is about as big as you want to go. And make sure that it's cut enough so it's not too thick chunks like that. You want to cut them smaller and thinner like this. Okay, now this is as thick as wide as you want to go. When this is all cut up like this, make sure that you break them apart so none of them is too thick. And they are about approximately, not an exact science, but approximately the same thickness, so that you hope that they will dry at about the same time. So this is one whole cabbage, and it will be enough for you for a couple of meals in the winter time. So make sure that you break them, like I say, like this. And what I do here is I use newspaper to create some kind of airflow for your bottom. You can also use rack as well. Can you dry them outdoors? Absolutely. I just do not want to contend with dust and birds and animal damage. So, besides, in eastern Washington, the air is so arid and dry, it's very easy to dry inside. If you live elsewhere, especially in some places in the country that humidity is very high, this might pose a challenge indoors, so you might be better off drying outdoors. But if you do, make sure you cover them with some kind of protective cloth so that the birds won't damage it. Also, you may need to use dehydrator. I just do not like using gadget to help me with this kind of simple task. Besides, the volume that I do here is beyond a dehydrator, so I use it the old-fashioned way. So anyway, I built some kind of airflow at the bottom, and then I top it with a layer of newspaper. You may ask that, are you worried about the ink? Not really. In all the years of drying, I have never seen newspaper ink bleed out under the water, under the humidity, so I'm not too worried. Now, if you are worried, you can also top this up with paper towel or clean cloth. Okay, so what you do is you spread them out evenly, and like I said, make sure that you break them apart like this. And during the period of its drying, and I'm not going to tell you how long it will take because I don't know where you are, depends on the humidity where you live, you make sure that you occasionally and often turn them. What I do here is every day I come here and I turn them around, and that's it. I'll show you a finished product. By the way, the heart of the cabbage, the thick stem part, is not suitable for drying because it will never get dry. So I just give it to our rabbit. So anyway, in about 2 weeks, this is what you will see. Make sure that you hear this crunchy noise. and feels completely dry in your hand. And this is dry, completely dry. When dry properly, vegetables should be able to stay on your shelf for at least 10, 11, 12 years. In fact, we just finished a batch of dry Swiss chard that was dated 2009, and it was as good as ever. In the next episode, I will show you how to cook them. Thanks for watching.